So y'all, my tripod just literally broke. So I'm holding this like this. Anyways, so if you guys want to know how to make a floating shelf / coat hanger, stick around. Welcome back to my channel. It's Ashleigh here, and I have a dog bowl in the back of my, let me go move that. All right, so back to the regular scheduled program. I'm so sorry, the lighting is very terrible, so don't pay attention to that. Pay attention to me. Hey, I'm Ashleigh. Welcome back. If you're new, welcome. Make sure you click on that subscribe button and notification bell so you can keep up to date with my latest videos. Today in this video, I'm going to be doing a tutorial for you guys on how to make a floating shelf coat rack. Yes? So when I did it, it literally was not easy. It was very hard for me because, of course, I didn't think these things through until I was actually kind of processing and putting all of this together. But that's what you have me for, to do trial and error, so that then I can bring it to you and it will be like so simple for you guys to recreate. Yay! So that's exactly what happened, and I'm going to show you guys some alternative ways that you can make this and also some optional features that you can add to it throughout the video. So anyways, let's get started, guys. So the materials you're going to need for this project are an 8-foot piece of shiplap, an 8-foot piece of trim, hooks of your choice, metal screws, Sawtooth hangers, wood glue, E6000, and of course, wood stain. The first step to this project is cutting down this shiplap piece that I purchased from Lowe's, and we're going to be cutting it in half. Okay, so I've measured where, I feel like I have a beard. Anyways, so I measured out where we need to cut this. I'm gonna be using my table saw to cut this, but if you don't have a table saw, you can use your miter saw if you have a miter saw. If you don't have either, you can just get Lowe's or Home Depot to cut the wood for you, and they'll be happy to do that. So let's get to cutting. I got this shiplap plank from Lowe's. They have different color stained ones. I just chose to use the natural because I like to mix my own stains and come up with different colors. But you can definitely purchase these in a different stain color if you choose to. Now I'm just gonna start staining the wood, and I'm going to put weather oak on first, then simply white, and then I'm going to add dark walnut. And I'm just going to keep alternating between those colors until I get it to my liking. So now I just placed my hooks on top of the wood, and depending on how long or how short you want this, I just literally eyeballed where I want each hook to be. Then you're just going to mark off where you want to cut the remainder. Now, if you don't have a miter saw of your own at home, I would recommend just kind of doing this beforehand and then getting them to cut the wood for you at your local hardware store. Now I'm going to take this to the table saw, and I'm going to cut off what I don't need. All right, so now since you got your pieces cut, you're gonna have a front portion and you're gonna have a portion that you're gonna lay onto the top. Now, if you don't wanna do this part, you can definitely just have that front part and just put your hooks on there and hang it up on your wall. But if you want more of a shelf look, you're gonna wanna attach them. You're gonna put the top one on top of the bottom and making sure that you attach them where the grooves are. I'm gonna be using Gorilla Glue and also my E6000, and we're just gonna start to glue the top to the bottom. So now I'm going to be using these cans. These just happen to be the perfect size, and I'm going to be using this to help with propping up my top piece, and it's also going to help with drying. Now I'm just going to take these extra cans and I'm just going to prop them up so that everything can kind of stay in place with drying. You're going to have some drips of glue, so all you're going to have to do is just take a napkin and wipe off any excess glue that you have. as you can see, I have some drippage, so I'm just gonna take a napkin and I'm just gonna wipe that all away. Now we have everything set, propped up, and I'm gonna let this dry for about 72 hours. So this next part is optional. You don't have to do this, but the side here, I'm gonna take this trim and I'm gonna add it to the side. You don't have to do this though, and you can definitely just stain the side and you'll be perfectly fine. All right, so as you can see, I already kind of cut this one at an angle. You don't have to do it at an angle. If you decide to do trim, you can do a straight edge if you would like, but I'm just doing it at an angle. So then after I kind of make sure that that's correct, I'm gonna go back and take my other piece. I'm gonna put it on top, kind of use my pen to see where I need to do my other angle, and then I'm going to cut this piece out as well. So when you're cutting this, if you have a miter saw, you want to make sure that you have it at a 45-degree angle. You're going to do your first cut, and then you're going to bring it back to 0, cut it straight, and then you're just going to keep alternating between until you get all of your cuts. So now we're gonna start to put our hooks on to our front piece. I'm making sure that the first 2 pieces that you put on from the right end to the left end is 2.5 inches from the end. And then after you put both of those outer parts in, I'm just gonna eyeball my 2 hooks in the center and making sure that they're straight. And I'm gonna make sure that I show this knot here on the side because I love to show the knots of the wood. So I'm gonna add these now, and I'm just gonna make sure that they're not too far apart from each other in the middle because you don't wanna have like a huge gappy space. And I'm just gonna make sure that they're even. Now I'm making sure that each piece is about 3/4 inches away from the bottom. Don't worry, I'm gonna have all these measurements down below for you guys so it'll be easy for you to follow. I'm gonna take my pen and I'm gonna start marking each piece. And this is exactly why you mark each piece, guys. Yeah, totally knocked that one, and I'm gonna have to remeasure the whole entire thing. So if you don't want that happening to you, just be careful and mark where each one is. It might even be better to use a permanent marker because it's just easier to just put that little dot there. Now I'm going to take these metal screws and I am going to spray paint each of them black. I'm just going to screw them onto just a random piece of scrap wood that I have, just so it'll be easier for me to spray paint the heads of the nails. I got these hooks from Hobby Lobby, and how gorgeous are they? Like, ooh! Anyways, so I got them when they were half off, so I paid $8 for all of them in total, and you can pick these up from the knobs and hardware section in Hobby Lobby. Okay, so this is another optional step that you can do. I'm just going to add this piece of trim from the top to the bottom so that I can kind of create like a triangle side. And you don't have to do this, but you're just going to cut it at an angle again, 45 degrees, but instead you're going to cut it up and down instead of it being flat. But again, you don't have to do this step, and you could just leave it where it just has an L instead of actually making a full triangle. So after you get everything cut out, you're just going to add those pieces to the top and bottom portions of your shelf and clamp them and let them dry. So this is the most important part of the whole entire project if you're going to be adding the shelf. So we're going to add this back piece with our wood glue, and this is just a scrap piece that we cut off earlier, and we're going to add it to the back, and I just put it on the back with some glue. I nailed it at the top, but if you don't nail it at the top, I'm sure the wood glue and E6000 mix will do perfectly fine because those are really strong bonds. So now we're going to add these 2 little blocks of wood that I got, I don't remember the size, but I'll have it linked down below. Not even linked down below, but I'll have the size down below because I don't remember it right now. But then we're just going to screw these in, so it's kind of going to anchor the back to the front. You don't have to do this part. If you don't want, you can just keep the back piece and make sure that you just keep it glued for more than 72 hours so you know that it's like secure on there. But if not, you can definitely just drill some screws and take a wood screw. This is a wood screw that I just already have, but you can buy these wood screws from Walmart for probably maybe 97 cents, I'm sure. And I'm just going to add my wood glue to the front parts here, and then I'm just going to screw the back, and then I'm going to let this whole entire thing again dry for you want to let it dry for the full 72 hours after you've put all of this stuff on there, just to make sure that it has a very good bond. So now again, this back piece, you don't have to do this if you don't want to, but I'm just going to add the trim to both sides, and then I am going to stain everything to match the front and top portion of this whole entire shelf. Added the Sawtooth hangers to the back already, but when you are putting this up on your wall, you're going to really want to use the drywall anchors because this is heavy, and if you're adding things on top of it and your coats and purses and things like that, you're definitely going to need that for the extra security. Okay, so now that all the hard work is done, it's time for the fun part, and I thought it would be super cool to show you guys how I actually stage my DIY projects for my thumbnails and for my video footage. So this one is going to be a fall inspired. Everything that I'm using is from the Dollar Tree except for the milk bottle. I got that from the Target dollar spot, and the little grass leaves that I use as well, I got those from Michael's. So I hope you guys enjoy, and let's get decorating. So that's the end of the tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you give it a big thumbs up, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.